Oh. That's rude. Well, at least I drew a Stone Rain, so get wrecked. I'll just hit their mountain. Likelihood is that keeps them off Blast Zone forever anyway. They Tybalt's Trickery. So yeah, we know what they're playing. Adversary. Oh, this is great. Look at this. Adversary, guess what? Pay 3 Stone Rain. Absolutely get out of here, Tybalt's Trickery player. Get out of here. Go away. Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today we're going to be playing a little bit of Historic. After my experience today, it might be the last Historic video for a very long time. This format just really hasn't changed in the slightest from the new set release, and to see nothing changing after, like, you know, several days of a set being out is kind of just a bit sad. So today we're going to play a format, or a deck, that prevents our opponents from playing the game, because, well, if I can't have fun, nobody can. So, we're going to be playing Ponza today, and Ponza is basically a land destruction mid-range list. Mid-range doesn't particularly exist in Historic, which is, I think, one of its major faults. Yeah, this is as close as you can get. It's not a great deck, but it does a fair bit of stuff. The format's just a bit too fast, I guess, for turn 2 Stone Rains, which is very strange to say. But let's talk about some of the new cards that we've gotten in this deck since we last played it. I believe we have all of the modern stuff, the Anarchomancers, the Adversaries, the digital-only stuff, and the Rampage and the Pyromancers. I think those are the new cards. So, the old format of the deck has changed dramatically. We've got 7 1-drops that allow us to then hit Stone Rain on turn 2. It's a 3-mana sorcery that destroys a land. We also have Ruin Blaster, a 3-mana 2-1 with haste, but if we pay it for 4 mana, then we get to destroy a non-basic land. We've got the Chandra, which we can get down on turn 3 with our Llanowar Elves and our Gilded Geese as well. Those then can allow us to ramp into our bigger spells, draw more land destruction things, kill creatures, all of that nonsense. And then Sawtusk Demolisher from one Historic Anthology, I can't even remember which one it is, mutate onto any of our creatures. We don't have any humans outside of Seasoned Pyromancer, but Pyromancer makes elementals, so you can mutate onto those instead. So essentially every single creature that we have in our deck can be mutated onto for 4 mana, and when you do mutate with this, you get your creature turned into a 6/6 with Trample, plus whatever the other creature had. So if you did it onto a Gilded Goose, it's a 6/6 with Trample and Flying. Very powerful. It destroys a non-creature permanent, and then its controller creates a 3/3 beast creature token. So you can destroy lands with this, you can destroy artifacts, enchantments, planeswalkers, whatever you need to do, and you give your opponent a 3/3. We can also destroy our own lands or our own Gilded Geese, something like that if we want to, in order to give ourselves the 3/3 to increase the aggression that we've got available. So let's talk about some of the new cards. The digital-only one, Static Discharge, is going to go very well with one of our new cards as well. It's a 2-mana sorcery that deals 3 damage to any target, plus X, where X is the number of discharge counters, or whatever, charge counters on Static Discharge. So it'll deal 3 damage, then it'll deal 4, 5, 6, and then potentially even 7 damage as we go along. It puts the counters on every single card in our graveyard, in our deck, in our hand. So no matter where it is, we're getting that perpetual damage increase, which is super awesome with Bloodthirsty Adversary. 2-mana 2/2 with haste, but if it enters the battlefield, you can pay 3 any number of times. And when you when you pay this cost 1 or more times, you put that many 1/1 counters on it. So it can come in as a 5-mana 3/3 with haste, and then it exiles a instant or sorcery with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard, and allows you to play it without paying its mana cost. So we can get another Static Discharge, pumping up the value of those, but more importantly, this can be a 5-mana 3/3 with haste that destroys lands. Oh baby, isn't that wonderful? So that's a really nice use of the Adversary here. So it's kind of like Goblin Dark Dwellers with a bit of scaling. It can be a more aggressive version of Dark Dwellers. It can be essentially Dark Dwellers, or it could be better than Dark Dwellers for another 3 on top of that if you pay 6 plus the 2 for its base there as well. So that's super awesome. And yeah, more aggressive threats is always nice. We've got Goblin and Narcomancer. This is another way to cost reduce in our deck. It's a 2 mana 2/2 that says each spell you cast that is red or green costs 1 colorless less to cast. So if you play this on 2, then the Stone Rain is 2 mana, so we could double Stone Rain if we have our 4th land on turn 4, for example. Otherwise, this is a 3 mana destroy a non-basic land, if you can pay the double red kicker on that, and all of that kind of stuff. We've got Dire Strain Rampage, which we're testing out today. I'm not too sold on it just yet, but it is a 3 mana sorcery, and it's very confusing how it's worded. So you can destroy an artifact, enchantment, or land. That's like the thing that this thing does. If you destroy a land, its controller can search for 2 basic land cards and put them onto the battlefield tapped. Otherwise, they get a single basic land card. So if you destroy a land, they get 2 basics. If you destroy an artifact or an enchantment, they get 1 land. So what we're going to be doing with this, it's not actually really land destruction. It's actually ramp. We're going to target our own stuff, which allows us to get rid of 1 land, thin the deck of 2, and go from there. We also have the flashback of 5, which means we can do it again, assuming that we drew a land after we did all of the land destruction nonsense. It's going to be pretty good in greedy mana decks, the ones that don't have that many basics. If they've played a few, then maybe we can get them there. Only running as a 2 of, though, because it's really here just as artifacts and enchantment removal, and occasionally as land destruction if we see a land that we really just don't like. Otherwise, we can use it to ramp ourselves, to get to, you know, our Chandras plus mana to get, you know, Stone Rains out, something like that. Playing around with it, maybe it's not correct. We might actually need sweepers, to be honest, as counterproductive to our game plan as they are. Sweepers might be necessary in this format. And then finally, Seasoned Pyromancer. 3 mana 2/2, enters the battlefield, you discard 2 cards, then draw 2 cards, and for each non-land card discarded this way, you make a 1/1 red elemental creature token. The good part about this card is it's a great top deck, because if you play it with an empty hand, you don't discard anything, but you still draw 2, which is a wording that you don't see on many cards these days. Usually it's draw that many cards it's got written on it. But no matter how many cards you discard, you always draw 2. So it can be a great top deck for that reason. It's also a good thing to do with discarding Stone Rains, because these are not always good. If your opponent gets ahead on mana, destroying a land is not actually that great. So discarding a Stone Rain and getting an elemental token is often better as well. So going to be playing around with that. But yeah, the rest of the deck, yeah, it should speak for itself, to be honest. We've got 2 Den of the Bugbears. It's a nice way of winning the game if the board is empty and we've got lots of lands. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you do, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and without further ado, let's continue. Alright, we're in, and we've got a 1-land hand, so we're gonna mull this one. If it was a 2-lander, I think I would absolutely turbo slam this one, but it ain't, so we're not going to do that. This hand, it's Stone Rains, I guess. We are going to keep this one, though. Go Forest, go. Next turn, a Narcomancer makes this 2. After that, a Narcomancer Stone Rain hits the other planes. Looks like we're against like mono white humans, which means Ruin Blast is a bad draw. But maybe they've got like a non-basic, like Castle Ardenvale, maybe. One could hope, right? Do I offer the trade with this right here? I don't think I do. I think maybe I offer it next turn, but not right now. So we get to go Mountain, a Narcomancer, and then Stone Rain of Plains. Keep them at least off of 3-drops. Potentially off their 2-drops as well. I have to imagine that they've got quite a lot of cheap spells that they could cast, and not many expensive ones, so it's probably not going to be as effective as I hope, but... Ooh, a double block. Take that. That's a bad attack. It's also a bad matchup, though. Seasoned Pyro. So I can go Pyro, discard Ruin Blaster, because it's just a 2-mana 2-1. Adversary. Adversary's another Stone Rain waiting for us. So we'll wait on that. We can play 1-mana Adversary, plus the 3 to Stone Rain a land. That might get us somewhere. Yeah, I mean, our opponent not making land drops here is a good sign. Esper Sentinel. This is an easy block here. A growing threat that no longer grows. Can make some 1/1s with that later as well. It's only non-basic land on that. So we're going to go Adversary. Opponent is going to get to draw, but I'm going to kill a land anyway, so they're really going to try and draw for a land. Absolutely going to pay this for Stone Rain. And hit a Plains. So they draw. They go down to 1 mana. And I have a board state. It's not a great board state, but it's a board state. I can block everything on board here, trading the Bodyguard for an Adversary. There's a non-basic. So I definitely take my opponent up on that. Pretty sure I just have to take every single block I'm given. Dire Strain Rampage. Yeah, I think it's just a good idea to hit their lands, even though I do take quite a fair bit damage from the Thalia at this stage. So I'm assuming it's protecting Thalia, yep. I'll let Thalia go. Although, actually, if I double blocked, they kill one, set the Bodyguard. I'm basically trading one of these for a Bodyguard, and it's not worth it. So let's go to 7. Adversary isn't anything right now. So I guess we Pyro. Another Adversary. Okay. Let's play this tapped. Let me just pass the turn? No, we can get it with the Ruin Blaster, actually. The Ruin Blaster's a fine attack. I really need the Anarchomancer to counter the Thalia, honestly, so... yeah, take a trade there, that's fine. I want Adversary with the kicker here, because then it allows me to have a 3/3 that blocks Thalia. I can keep my board state going because this allows my elementals to attack back. There's a static discharge. So this is a bit of a weird one because I am going to static discharge the Thalia knowing that they've got the Bodyguard. But I need it to resolve and it'll fizzle if I target the Bodyguard. So I'll pay your 1. The discharge is now slightly more powerful in the graveyard. Let's just pass, because we're on 5. I really want to keep them on no lands for the rest of the game. Another Bodyguard. Ah, it's a stinger. Yeah, just take it. Life Total is a resource, after all. That's pretty good. So I can mutate onto an elemental. That means that Thalia is now officially blocked for the rest of the game. I can get rid of their last planes. They get a 3/3 out of it. That's not much of a big deal to me, honestly, because I can stack discharge that. And chump block it with a elemental for now. So they're officially not playing the game, which is just wonderful. This is not the matchup where I thought land destruction would be very effective, but it is working. Yeah, no attacks makes sense. I don't think there's a reason to keep a land in hand, because discarding it to Pyromancer doesn't get me an elemental either. So let's go adversary. To pay the 3 to get the discharge, which deals 4 to the beast token, and then we can start swinging through. Sweet. Alright, that's a good start. On to the next one. Okay, opponent goes first, which is unfortunate, but this hand does have a turn 2 Stone Rain, so we're going to take it. Could potentially even have a turn 3 Stone Rain. And we're playing against a deck that will likely have answers to my Llanowar Elves, unfortunately. But they might be low on lands. If they're playing like a Delver strategy, then they want to lower their lands to add more spells to it. Curious Obsession. Okay. And another Dragon's Rage Channeler. The sequencing there is wonderful. These guys are going to be able to encourage their land drops to turn up on time, so yeah, we do need to kill this Dragon's Rage Channeler. And then threaten to block the other one, I guess. So they've got Enchantment Human, Enchantment Creature Sorcery. Now if they get instant or land in the yard, that's a creature. Then they'd be able to fly over the top. They got their third land, which is a red source they could use to Unholy Heat me. Not gonna do it though. So let's see. This is 2. I'm Ruin Blasting here. Get rid of that Spire Bluff Canal. I do enable their Channeler. But if we can get to Adversary, so an untapped land off the top, then I get to stack Discharge this Channeler. Even though it's on 4, I can still hit it. So, untapped land, please. Otherwise, I guess it's just another Stone Rain. Take care of their red source. That's an Anarchomancer. That allows me to Stone Rain. Not if they Memory Lapse, though. Gotta love that card. Putting lands into the yard is... it's a thing, alright. I guess I'm getting aggressive. So yeah, it's gonna have to be like Adversary, Static Discharge, the Channeler, Delver, okay. Don't really care about Delver. Delver gets to look at cards. Channeler gets to influence them. Keep me 4 down to 10. Draw a card. Every time they draw a Memory Lapse, an angel dies. So let's hopefully not see any angels dying today. No need, right? Unholy Heat Adversary, that's the worst target of all time. So glad to see that. Makes actually no sense to me. But maybe that's just me. So, Adversary would cost 1. I'd have to literally kick Adversary here and hope for no Memory Lapse. But the way they played that, I'm assuming they've literally got the exact answer. Yeah. How about you just draw the same card again, opponent? Thanks. Appreciate that. Kill your red sauce. Swing for 2. Hope for the best. Could I have mana screwed them? Maybe. Maybe. They've been literally milling lands on purpose. And they've got a memory lapse, so screw this game. I'm on to the next one. We go first. We have a 3-mana Sawtooth Demolisher. I'll keep this hand. This could work. Couldn't be any worse than our last game, I'll say that much. But it has 4 lands in it, so if I have 4 more lands on top, then that's totally expected. Alright, turn 1, Gilded Goose. Go. Forest, Llanowar Elves. We get a forest, so we're gonna go Pathway and Narcomancer. And send a message. Could we be playing against mono-green elves? And if we are, how do I want to proceed? I think mutating Gilded Goose. Oh, it's Shamans. Alright, I want to take them off red. Yeah, mutating Gilded Goose. Take them off red, I think, is my plan. And then go for the 6/6 beats. So, swing. Shouldn't take me too long to demolish them, but they can honestly get back into this game. They do have, like, stomps and things like that in their deck. So if they kill the Anarchomancer, then I'm without blockers. That's the best draw they could have had. I will trade my Anarchomancer for the Elvish Visionary, because it keeps me alive longer. I don't think I've got enough time to win now. It's funny how that works. Alright. Static Discharge is a start, honestly. Kill Rage Forger. Play Gilded Goose. And play Den of the Bugbear. Swing for 6. I win if I draw a Static Discharge. Or a Chandra. Or a Sawtooth Demolisher, actually, because of the Gilded Goose getting mutated. Though they can interact with that through a Stomp. I have 4 life worth of food tokens. So I'm a virtual 16 here. So their board state needs a little bit more than what it has. I'll say no blocks. They've been eyeing up my Gilded Goose, though. I think they're honestly waiting to stomp it. Lands. Well, if they're waiting to stomp it, then Den of the Bugbear is where I'm going. It's why we played it last turn, is so that we can get that aggression going. And, yep, there's the stomp. So we float mana. We use our turn to do a bit of this. A bit of that. No! I'm just thinking, if they... You're a druid. I think I'm okay to do this. Going up to 9. I'm dead to Stomp, I suppose. And... I don't think I'm dead to Rage Forger, right? Oh, I am dead to Rage Forger. Because it's the counter plus the additional. Looks like we got there, though. More lands. So glad, because obviously the flood is coming. And everybody has to get out of the way, because... Oh boy, does this game love to give me lands today. Oh my goodness. Well, a close one. And it could have gone either way, honestly. A land in the wrong time could have done us in, but we got there. Took the right line to victory as well. I don't think we had any more time to durdle and try and land destruction than we just had to get that Demolisher in attacking as soon as possible. But yeah, I'm not sure about the food line, whether or not that was correct to drop the Gilded Goose and eat an extra food in order to try and stay alive. There might have been extra life in blocking or something like that. I don't know. I didn't do the math, if I'm being completely honest, but either way, on to the next one. Alright, what do we got here? We've got a turn 2 Anarchomancer with a potential turn 3 Chandra if we get a red source. Otherwise, I think I would try for my turn 2 Stone Rain hand. And this has a turn 2 Stone Rain hand. Look at that. We are going to go down a mountain, I suppose. Although that would mean that Rootbound Crags would be tap lands. So maybe it's actually Cragtown Pathway. Yeah, I think that's the case. So turn 1, Llanowar Elves. Get to hit whatever land they play here. It's going to be Mountain into Dragon's Rage Channeler. Alright. So I have a choice. I could either kill Dragon's Rage Channeler and play Gilded Goose, or I could get rid of this mountain. I think the Gilded Goose line is better. This Channeler is going to lead them towards land drops anyway, so no doubt they've kept a 2-lander. Keeping any less is kind of extremely risky, and maybe we can hit a dual land with the Stone Rain, so we get more value there as well. Well, we hit a blue source. Blue source means card draw. They've got a Pillar of Flame. Now I've got a Ruin Blaster. Yeah, I think I'm hitting their blue source. Keep them off like memory lapsing and nonsense like that. Hope for no Spell Pierce. I'm getting Spell Pierce vibes right now. They're going to consider. Okay, so they liked the card. It was probably a land. And now we're in a little bit of trouble because we don't have any follow-up. And our opponent still manages to hit their land drops. Did at least get to go Gilded Goose here, and we've got a Static Discharge which we can use on any follow-up creature, so we can hit a little sprite or whatever. Iteration. So they're going to try and make their land drops here, no doubt. Card to hand, card to bottom, card in exile, it's the land drop. Sulphur Falls. And we get a land. So I want double red. And I want to Ruin Blaster with Kicker. The double reds for Seasoned Pyromancer and Chandra Torture Defiance. Hit the Steam Vents. Hit you for 2. Steam Vents over Sulphur Falls, because there's a chance that I can hit their mountain at some point, which would leave them in a situation where they... Yeah, that's an awkward card. Hit them for 2. Where they get Sulphur Falls that come into play tapped, which has some value. Not much value, but some value. Alright, so I have a deal 4. It's interesting to see them just make their land drops constantly. They seem to be doing just fine. So I'm just going to pass here and then end step Gilded Goose if I don't like what I see. Gonna hit that at the earliest convenience. Oh, this is sorcery speed, yeah. Make a food token. Oh, this was instant speed. Ooh, Chandra. Well, we do go after the Dragon's Rage Channeler. Yeah, Memory Lapse is like the worst thing to see here. Which is why they have it. So I'm going to be drawing that again. And I can make a food token or I can play another goose. I might as well just play another goose. I was only not playing that goose because it was going to get potentially memory lapsed and that would have sucked. Curious Obsession, alright. We've got chump blockers for days on that. We've actually got a Gilded Goose with no food token to sack, so it's here just as a chump fodder anyway. That opens up the battlefield for us to attack as well, which is good. Another Dragon's Rage Channeler. So what do we want to do here? They've got Memory Lapse. 1, 2... I mean, I guess we go after this one right here. Memory lapses always come in multiples. It's a Lofty Denial instead, okay. Yeah, this is a real barrel of laughs to play, isn't it? I guess I will do my thing. Pass. I've still got Chandra mana to minus on the Channeler. Unholy Heat. That does mean that I have no follow-up. So it's just kill Channeler pass, really. Well, now it's kill Channeler attack for 1. But it's probably not going to happen. I mean, if you're running Lofty Denial, you're running every single counter under the sun, right? Yep. Down to 10. It's got a Sprite Dragon, which I will chump. They'll probably have a spell, but I want to test them on that. Okay, so now I've got a Chandra. Do you have a million other counters? Oh, when did Is It Tempo start existing? Oh, just when I was thinking, I might like this format again. They come back and they slap you in the face. Alright, hit you for 1. Yep, take it. Delve up. Adversary. That holds some value if it resolves, which of course it doesn't. Yeah, this isn't very fun at all. On to the next one. Okay, we're in. We've got a turn 1 Llanowar, turn 2 Rampage, into a Chandra. That seems good enough for me. We do have to... That's a Ketria Triumph, alright. Stone Raining is going to be very nice, so could we draw one of them off the top? Thank you. Please no alright then. Guess we're up against the Nivtalite deck. So I'm gonna just Rampage now, I think. Yeah. That seems the correct thing to do. I mean, I could hit their lands. I'm sure they don't have that many basics. They'll have 1 or 2, surely, but... Is that correct? I get to play Chandra next turn regardless, so yeah, maybe it's correct. Just not sure which land to hit. Maybe Savai Triumph. Let's see how many basics you got. Test the theory. They have no basics. Alright. Okay, so Dire Strain Rampage is a Stone Rain. Good to know. Greedy mana bases. I absolutely love them. Give me more of them. Come on, Stone Rains for the rest of the game. More lands. Curses. What did they get rid of? Temple Garden. So we're going to go Chandra here.
I'm the best fire starter there is.
I think we're just going to tick up Gilded Goose. Yeah, I definitely did not want to top deck that. Next time we get to Dire Strain Rampage the Ketria Triumph, regardless of what they do here. Overgrown Tomb, Clarion. Yeah, still get to Stone Rain them. So we're gonna stick this on green. How do we want to do this? I think we just want to go add mana, Rampage Triumph. No basics for you. The dream matchup. The absolute dream. Survive Triumph. Opponent does have an answer.
That was a disaster.
for my Chandra, but do they have an answer to the next one? Because I get to go Chandra, Torture, Defiance. Add mana. This is wonderful.
It's gonna hurt.
There we go. They still have Vanishing Verse mana, but now I have Bloodthirsty Adversary plus Stone Rain. Ready to go. And you'd best believe I'm gonna do it. Oh, baby. Oh, my goodness. Ah, this is wonderful. Take 2. Got a good card off the top, good. So nice. Can hit them for 9 next turn, which is great because they just put themselves on 9. That's not how we're going to do it, though, because we're going to go minus kill the Kavu. Play you. Are we just hardcasting Demolisher, or are we hitting our opponent? We're hitting our opponent and taking another land off them. I don't know if they've got, like, Wrath of Gods. But we don't need to find out either, so... we'll just do that. Oh, that is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Alright. I was thinking Dire Strain Rampage had no redeemable qualities, but if Nivtalite ever makes it to the top tier, Rampage looks a little bit better. This is definitely the time when you want to be using this card. Oh my goodness. Alright, living the dream. Look at this guy, he's huge. Absolutely huge. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this one. I think my verdict on this deck is it's not correctly positioned right now, and may never be correctly positioned, honestly. I guess if you could increase the consistency of your turn 2 Stone Rains, then you've got a chance, but there's too many decks in the format right now that have a high consistency right from the very beginning. There's just not really any room for durdling. And yeah, it's just a format about fun policing. So if you can stop your opponent from having fun, then you're doing the right thing. Which is, I don't know, it's not the format for me, to be honest. So you might not see too much Historic from me at this point. Yeah, that's all I really got to say on that. I don't know if I'm returning to Historic until they ban memory lapses and things like that. Or a new set comes out and I'll play one game and see if it's still terrible. Because it was bad before the new set, and nothing seems to have changed this time around, which is sad. It really is, because Historic used to be my favourite format. Standard 22 took over it extremely easily, and then new Standard is just, again, still so much better than it. So if you've got better options, you just play the better options, right? So why play Historic? What's the driving force? Is I guess if you like the tier decks, you can play it. But yeah, for me, I'm a deck builder at heart, and this format does not allow you to deck build. As far as I'm concerned, it's tier decks or bust. So yeah, here's what it is. I enjoyed this Ponza list though, even though it wasn't great. And hopefully you guys did too. If you did, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. I would say for more content like this in the future, maybe in the future, but it'll be the long distant future until we come back to Historic. It was a mediocre experience to me when we've got an excellent experience over on Standard side. So we'll be doing Standard and Historic Brawl and any random events, I guess, for the foreseeable future. So hopefully you guys are in for that. And yeah, take care, and hopefully you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace.